For centuries, the galaxy had been torn apart by war. A relentless struggle for power, resources, and survival had left countless civilizations shattered. The Zenari Dominion, once a force of unmatched dominance, had crushed every opposition that dared to challenge their rule. Their relentless expansion had spread fear across the stars, enslaving worlds and dismantling the hopes of entire species. The Galactic Coalition, formed in the aftermath of the Zenari's rise, was humanity's only hope for survival. But years of unyielding conflict had taken their toll. The Coalition, a fragile alliance of many different species, was on the brink of collapse. Its fleets were decimated, its planets left in ruins, and its morale shattered. The unrelenting tide of the Zenari seemed unstoppable. Then, a call for help came from the most unexpected place: Earth. Humanity, a relatively young species in the vast expanse of the galaxy, had always kept to itself. Though they had achieved space travel and explored the stars, they had never once involved themselves in the intergalactic conflicts that raged around them. Neutrality had been their creed, and it had served them well, until now. The Zenari, realizing the threat that humanity could pose to their empire, had avoided engaging them directly. But as the war escalated, it became clear that the time for isolation was over. It was now or never. Either humanity would join the fight, or the galaxy would fall into eternal darkness under the Zenari's rule. In the heart of the galactic conflict, the High Council of the Galactic Coalition gathered. Led by High Counselor Taris, the fate of the galaxy rested in their hands. Their plan was simple yet monumental: seek humanity's aid. With their unique adaptability, resilience, and untapped potential, humanity was their last hope to turn the tide of war. But humanity's involvement would come at a cost. They had never been involved in such galactic warfare, and the risks were unimaginable. Could they rise to the occasion and become the galaxy's saviors? Or would their naivete and inexperience doom them all? As the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, humanity's place among the stars was about to be tested in ways no one could have predicted. The call to action had been made. The war would never be the same again. The Galactic Coalition's desperation. The Galactic Coalition, a once formidable alliance forged centuries ago to contain the relentless expansion of the Zenari Dominion, now stood on the precipice of ruin. After years of unyielding warfare, the Coalition's fleets lay shattered, entire planets reduced to ashes, and morale among its member species had plummeted to a crushing low. The once proud and united force that stood tall against the Zenari was now a fragmented shell of its former self, its members desperately searching for a way to reverse the tides of destruction that seemed inevitable. Within the walls of the High Council chamber on Eris, the capital of the Coalition, the few remaining leaders convened for a final meeting. Hoping against hope to find a solution that could turn the tide. At the center of the chamber, standing like a beacon of resolve amidst the despair, was High Counselor Taris, a strategist whose mind was as sharp as a blade and whose reputation had earned him the respect of all galactic factions. The Ural species, known for their wisdom, had always been sought after in times of great turmoil. Taris' voice, powerful and unwavering, echoed throughout the chamber as he presented the council with their last, desperate hope: we must seek the aid of humanity. The room fell silent, the air thick with disbelief. Murmurs rippled through the assembly like an undercurrent of dissent. The humans, a fledgling species just beginning to traverse the stars, were an unknown quantity in galactic matters. They had kept themselves apart, avoiding involvement in the ongoing conflict. They were seen as naive, untested, and, to some, even cowardly for refusing to take sides in the war that raged across the stars. But Taris stood firm. His voice rose again, commanding the attention of the skeptical council. The humans possess something none of us can match: adaptability. Their technology has advanced at a rate faster than any species we have encountered. More importantly, their resilience, their ability to endure when faced with the most impossible odds, may very well be what saves us from total annihilation. He paused, letting the gravity of his words settle in. The council exchanged wary glances, unsure whether to trust in humanity's potential or dismiss it entirely. Taris was not swayed. If anything, the look in his eyes grew more intense, a fire burning beneath his calm exterior. It is humanity's time to take the mantle of war. The Zanari's strength is unmatched in their domain, but they do not know what it is like to fight for the survival of an entire species. The humans. They do. A desperate plea to humanity, with the Council's approval, a delegation was swiftly dispatched to Earth, carrying the hope of the entire galaxy. Representatives from the most influential species within the coalition, each with their own unique strengths and weaknesses, traveled together, united by a single purpose, to convince humanity to join the fight. Their arrival on Earth was met with a wave of media frenzy. News channels across the globe broadcast images of these alien emissaries, their otherworldly forms sparking both awe and fear in equal measure. The envoys were granted a highly anticipated audience with the leaders of Earth at the United Nations headquarters in New York City. The scene inside the Grand Hall was one of immense tension. Human leaders, scientists, military strategists, and diplomats filled the space, each grappling with the reality of what was at stake. Secretary General Maria Gonzalez, her face marked by a mixture of curiosity and apprehension, stood at the helm of the meeting, representing the hopes and fears of all humankind. High Counselor Taris stepped forward, his presence commanding the room. His voice, though calm, carried the weight of countless lives lost and civilizations on the verge of extinction. As he laid out the story of the Zanari's relentless expansion, the destruction they had wrought, and the dire consequences of their unchecked progress. His words painted a haunting picture of what would happen if Earth remained neutral. "This war is no longer just ours," Taris said, his gaze unflinching as he made eye contact with the leaders of Earth. "If the Zanari are not stopped, they will eventually turn their eyes to your world. Your planet, your people. Your way of life will become nothing but another casualty in this endless war. The coalition is fractured. We are desperate. We have no choice but to seek your aid." The room fell silent. The weight of his words was impossible to ignore. Humanity, with its unassuming beginnings, was now being called upon to fight not just for their own survival, but for the survival of the entire galaxy. For hours, the debate raged. Scientists and military officials weighed the risks and benefits of entering a war that had already cost so much. Would they sacrifice their young men and women in a fight that was not their own? Was the price of peace too high? Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Earth's leaders came to a decision. A united Earth would join the Galactic Coalition in their fight against the Zanari Dominion. The time had come for humanity to prove itself on the galactic stage. Underscore 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 underscore. We will fight for our future, for our children, and for the hope of peace, Secretary General Gonzalez declared, her voice resolute. Humanity will stand with the coalition. Together, we will defeat the Zanari, and so, with the weight of the galaxy's fate resting on their shoulders, the people of Earth began their preparations for war. The stakes were high, but the resolve of humanity burned brighter than ever. The era of human isolation was over. Now, they would fight as one. Humanity joins the fight. As the decision was made and the weight of the galaxy's future fell on humanity's shoulders, preparations began in full force. Earth's spaceports were transformed into bustling hubs of activity. Engineers worked tirelessly, upgrading the human fleet to match the coalition's advanced technology, while soldiers underwent rigorous training to learn coalition tactics. Every moment counted, and there was no room for error. The human military quickly adapted, absorbing new technologies and strategies, preparing for their role in the galactic war. Admiral Marcus Steele, a decorated officer known across Earth's military circles for his strategic brilliance and unyielding resolve, was selected to lead humanity's fleet. Steele had earned the respect of every officer under his command, and the weight of this new responsibility did not faze him. With a steely resolve, he gathered his officers to address them. "We stand on the brink of a new era," Admiral Steele said, his voice commanding. "This is our chance to prove that humanity can change the course of this war. We will not back down, and we will not fail. The galaxy is depending on us." As humanity's fleet readied for action, the Coalition fleet awaited their arrival in the vastness of space. For the first time, the disparate forces of the Galactic Coalition would work alongside humanity in this epic battle. The human ships, sleek and formidable, were a testament to humanity's rapid technological evolution. They were fast, agile, and efficient, exactly what the Coalition needed. The flagship, EGAS, a warship that had been designed with both elegance and lethal functionality, led the charge. The EGIS was bristling with advanced weaponry, shield systems, and the kind of discipline that had come to define humanity's forces. The sight of the human ships gliding into formation alongside the battle-worn Coalition vessels marked a pivotal moment in the war. The fleets, once separated by species and ideology, were now united by a common goal: to defeat the Zenari. The first wave of humanity's ships cut through the cosmos, a visible testament to the power and potential of Earth's forces. The stage was set, and humanity was finally stepping into the galactic spotlight. Joining forces against the Zenari, the Galactic Coalition's fleet was a patchwork of ships, each with its own unique technology, designs, and aesthetics. From the sleek, fast ships of the Drari species to the heavy, durable vessels of the Tensor, the Coalition fleet represented the strength of many civilizations, each contributing their unique strengths to the cause. But the years of constant warfare had left the fleet battle-worn. The once pristine ships were now scarred, their hulls battered, and their systems patched together, struggling to keep up with the unrelenting pace of the war. Humanity's fleet, on the other hand, was an entirely different sight. Their ships were sleek, fast, and brimming with the latest technology. Their discipline in formation and synchronization was immediately apparent. The arrival of humanity's forces was nothing short of impressive. The advanced technology and strategic prowess of Earth's fleet served as a welcome relief to the weary Coalition forces, breathing new hope into the campaign. The two fleets merged, with humanity's ships taking strategic positions alongside their Coalition counterparts. The integration was seamless, a testament to the careful planning and coordination that had taken place. The crew members, once wary of their human allies, now found a common bond. They fought for a shared cause, and the unity between the fleets solidified their resolve. Admiral Keir, a seasoned strategist from the Drari species, stood on the command deck of the Coalition flagship. His yellow eyes narrowed as he observed the human ships forming in formation. Keir had heard much about humanity's potential, but like many others, he remained skeptical. What could a young, untested race offer that centuries of experience in warfare could not? Yet as the human fleet moved with precision, his skepticism began to wane. Humanity was more than just an unproven ally, they were a powerful force that had the potential to turn the tide of the war. "Welcome to the Coalition fleet," Admiral Keir said over the comms, his voice cold but tinged with respect. "I hope your confidence is well-founded." Humanity's resolve was now being tested. They were about to take part in their first joint operation with the Coalition, an assault on the Zenari stronghold in the Estera system. The operation was critical. The Zenari had a heavy presence there, and it was their fortress world in the system. If humanity and the Coalition could breach the defenses, it would signify a turning point in the war. But if they failed, the consequences would be dire. With the plan set in motion, the fleets readied themselves for the ultimate test. The battle for the Estera system was about to begin. And humanity would finally prove whether they were ready for the war that had long raged across the stars. The challenge ahead was monumental, but the stakes had never been higher. The survival of the galaxy depended on the success of this operation, and humanity was determined not to fail. The first strike, in the heart of the EGIS flagship's war room, Admiral Marcus Steele stood before a large holographic display, his eyes scanning the battle plans for the upcoming assault. The mission was simple, yet its importance could not be overstated, strike at the heart of the Zenari defenses in the Estera system. For too long, the Zenari had dominated the region, and this would be humanity's first true test of power. "We are the tip of the spear," Admiral Steele said to his officers, his voice firm and resolute. "Captain Hayes, you and your fighters will lead the charge. Disable their outer defenses, and create an opening for the rest of the fleet. Tariq, make sure our systems are running at full capacity. We cannot afford any malfunctions." Captain Rebecca Hayes, ever the tactician, nodded sharply. Her fierce determination was palpable, and her readiness to lead the first wave was unquestionable. She turned to her squadron of fighters, the Aegis's best pilots, who would follow her into the unknown. Lieutenant Commander Tariq Aziz, the engineering mastermind behind the fleet's technological backbone, set to work ensuring that the fleet's shield generators and weapons systems were functioning at peak efficiency. He understood the gravity of the situation better than anyone. The success of this mission relied not only on strategy but also on precision. The fleet prepared for the battle of their lives. As the Aegis and the coalition forces emerged from hyperspace, they were met by a staggering sight, a massive Zenari armada, stretching across the stars like a dark ocean of weaponry and warships, bristling with firepower and ready to defend their stronghold. The scale of the Zenari fleet was awe-inspiring, their intimidating design standing as a testament to their power. Admiral Steele did not hesitate. "All ships, engage at will. Target their command vessels and disrupt their formations," he commanded, his voice unwavering. The battle erupted with a deafening roar of weapons fire and the thunderous hum of engines. Humanity's fleet, with their advanced tactics and cutting-edge technology, immediately took the initiative. The human ships moved with a precision that the Zenari had not anticipated. Plasma cannons fired in rapid succession, tearing through the enemy's hulls. Fighters wove through the chaos, launching strike after strike that left the Zenari reeling. The Zenari, caught off guard by the sudden ferocity of humanity's assault, struggled to keep up. Their defensive formations began to crack under the relentless pressure of the human fleet. The once imposing Zenari forces were slowly being dismantled. Their cohesion shattered by the unexpected might of the humans. The coalition ships, bolstered by humanity's brilliance, followed suit. They fought with renewed vigor, inspired by the audacity and effectiveness of their new allies. Together, the two fleets tore through the Zenari defenses, creating a path for the ground invasion that would soon follow. A turning point, Admiral Keir, observing the battle from his command ship, could not help but feel a sense of awe. The Drari strategist, known for his calculated approach to warfare, had always viewed humanity with skepticism. But now, watching their advanced tactics and technological prowess unfold before him, he realized that he had underestimated them. Humanity had brought a level of strategic brilliance and innovation to the fight that was unmatched. They had changed the course of the battle, and with it, the war. For the first time in years, victory seemed within reach. The Zenari forces, thrown into disarray by the unexpected assault, began to retreat, their once mighty armada faltering in the face of humanity's relentless advance. The Estera system, once a symbol of Zenari dominance, had fallen. The coalition forces, weary and battle-worn, erupted into cheers, celebrating a hard-won victory. But more importantly, humanity had proven its worth. They had shown that their resolve, technological innovation, and ability to adapt were more than just the promise of a future. They were the key to winning the war. Admiral Steele stood at the helm of the Aegis, looking over the battlefield with quiet pride. "Today," he said over the comms, his voice strong, "we have shown the galaxy that unity and determination can overcome any foe. But this is just the beginning. The war is far from over. We must press on." For Steele, the victory at Estera was just a glimpse of what humanity could achieve when faced with insurmountable odds. The war was far from over, but this victory would be the spark that ignited the hope of the galaxy. With humanity's strength now firmly recognized, the coalition pressed on, prepared for the battles yet to come. The battle for Zyria. The coalition's next target was Zyria, a world of staggering importance to the Zenari Dominion. Xiria was heavily fortified, serving as a major supply hub for the Zenari war machine. Located on the outer rim of Zenari-controlled space, it had been shielded by layers of defensive measures, both planetary and orbital. Intelligence reports indicated that the Zenari had established a formidable presence there, with their most elite forces stationed on the planet's surface and their most powerful capital ships patrolling its orbit. This would not be an easy fight, but it was necessary. Our mission is clear, Admiral Marcus Steele said, his voice steady but filled with resolve. We must capture Xiria. Disrupt their supply lines. If we do this, we strike a massive blow to their war effort. The entire fleet knew what was at stake. The outcome of the battle for Xiria could change the entire course of the war. If the coalition could sever the Zenari's vital supply lines and cripple their forward bases, the Zenari would be left vulnerable. But the path to victory would be hard-fought and costly. As the fleet neared Xiria, the full extent of the Zenari's defenses came into view. The planet was ringed by massive energy shields, fortified orbital platforms, and a battalion of Zenari warships patrolling the area. They were not prepared to surrender their control without a vicious battle. Humanity and the coalition braced themselves for the coming onslaught, knowing that every decision made in the heat of battle could determine the success or failure of the operation. This is our chance, Admiral Steele thought to himself as the vast expanse of Xiria loomed ahead. They had no choice but to press on, to fight, to win. The battle for Xiria would test the limits of their combined strength and resilience. The outcome was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity and the coalition had no plans of backing down. The assault on Xiria's surface. While the space battle above Xiria raged, a covert operations team, led by the indomitable Captain Sarah Connor, had already infiltrated the planet's surface. Their mission was one of extreme importance: disable the Zenari's planetary defense grid and pave the way for a full-scale ground invasion. If successful, their actions would provide the crucial window needed for the coalition fleet to launch its devastating orbital bombardment, clearing the way for the main ground forces. The team, composed of elite soldiers from both human and coalition forces, was equipped with the latest in combat technology, advanced EXO suits designed to enhance their strength, agility, and resistance to enemy fire. The suits allowed them to move with unparalleled speed and precision, making them formidable opponents to the Zenari's elite soldiers. Captain Connor, a seasoned leader known for her unparalleled tactical mind and calm under fire, led her team with purpose. We need to disable their defense grid before the fleet can commence orbital bombardment, she commanded. The urgency in her voice was undeniable. The longer they took, the higher the risk of the Zenari activating their own countermeasures. The team advanced through the dense jungle surrounding the command station, moving silently but with deadly intent. But the Zenari were no pushovers. They had anticipated such an infiltration and met the team with heavy resistance. As Connor's team pressed forward, they were ambushed by waves of Zenari soldiers, their towering forms and advanced weaponry making them formidable opponents. Despite the onslaught, Captain Connor and her team fought back with relentless determination. "Push forward," she shouted, her rifle blazing. "We can't stop now. We need to reach that control room." The sound of explosions and gunfire filled the air, but the team did not falter. Every member knew the stakes, and they fought with a sense of purpose, knowing that the fate of the battle above Xiria depended on their success. Finally, after an intense firefight, they breached the inner sanctum of the Zenari command station. The last line of defense crumbled as their enemies fell one by one. "Morales, get to work on that grid," Connor barked to her technician. Javier Morales, a tech expert known for his quick thinking under pressure, moved swiftly to disable the planet's defense system. "Cover me," Morales said, his fingers flying over the console as he bypassed the Zenari's sophisticated security systems. "This is going to take a minute." The tension was palpable. Outside the command station, the battle still raged, and waves of Zenari soldiers continued to attack. But the team held their ground, repelling each new wave with relentless resolve. With a triumphant beep, Morales completed the hack. "Grids down," he announced, his voice filled with triumph. The path is clear for the fleet. With the planetary defense grid now disabled, the Coalition fleet was given the green light to launch their orbital bombardment. The sky above Xeria would soon rain fire as the fleet unleashed its full destructive power. As the team gathered to rejoin the ground forces, the success of their mission sent a ripple of hope through the Coalition ranks. The battle for Xeria was far from over, but the success of Connor's team had opened the door for a decisive victory. The ground forces, now able to advance unopposed, prepared to breach the Zenari defenses. The time had come to take the fight to the heart of the Zenari Dominion. With the defense grid disabled and the way cleared for a full assault, the Coalition forces launched their attack on Xeria with unmatched determination. The sky above the planet crackled with energy as ships from every species in the Coalition rained fire upon Zenari ground installations and fortifications. Humanity's fleet, now fully integrated into the Coalition's ranks, fought side by side with their allies, demonstrating that their earlier victories were not mere flukes. They were a testament to the power of unity and strategic brilliance. Despite their recent losses, the Zenari forces fought with relentless intensity. They were backed into a corner, their last stronghold crumbling before them. But their loyalty to their cause and their desperation to defend their world made them formidable opponents. The battlefields of Xeria became a deadly chessboard, with each side maneuvering for the upper hand. However, the Coalition, empowered by the knowledge that victory was within reach, continued to push forward, systematically dismantling the Zenari defenses. The Zenari, demoralized by the loss of their command structure and planetary defense systems, began to falter. Their formations shattered under the relentless onslaught of human fighters and Coalition warships, as each strike by the forces of Earth and their allies created an opening for the ground forces to advance. On the surface, Captain Sarah Connor's team continued their fight with unparalleled resolve. Moving through the war-torn landscape of Xeria, the team, supported by reinforcements from both human and Coalition troops, repelled wave after wave of Zenari attackers. Connor's leadership was the key to their success. Her team, battle-hardened and fueled by the need to protect their allies, fought through the chaos with tactical precision. As the Coalition forces gained more ground, the Zenari, seeing the tide turn against them, started to retreat. The once impenetrable defenses of Xeria were now mere rubble, and the victory was in sight. Captain Connor and her team continued to lead the charge, their tenacity and grit driving the final nail into the Zenari's defeat on the planet's surface. The battle for Xeria was nearly won. The Coalition forces, having secured the planet, turned their attention to the final objective, the heart of the Zenari Dominion. The final victory at Drar. With the fall of Xeria, the Coalition forces set their sights on Drar, the capital city of the Zenari Dominion. Drar was a fortress world, surrounded by the last remnants of the Zenari's once mighty defense system. It was here, on this heavily fortified planet, that the Zenari leadership resided, and it was here that the fate of the entire war would be decided. Captain Connor's team was once again called upon to lead the charge. The stakes could not have been higher. This was the final assault. If they succeeded, the Zenari Dominion would crumble, and the galaxy would be free from their oppressive rule. But if they failed, the war would continue, and countless more lives would be lost. The battle for Drar began with ferocity. The Zenari forces, though beaten and broken, did not surrender easily. They were fanatical in their defense of their home, and the streets of Drar became a brutal battleground. The Coalition forces, however, were relentless. Every step they took was a step closer to victory. Captain Connor led her team into the heart of Drar, pushing forward despite heavy resistance. The urban warfare was brutal. Every building, every street corner, was a battleground. But the Coalition soldiers, led by human resolve, fought with unmatched precision. They cleared buildings, took control of key positions, and fought their way toward the central command center, the nerve center of the Zenari Dominion. Once inside the heart of the city, Captain Connor's team breached the final line of defense, the Zenari Command Center. The elite Zenari guards, though highly trained and well-equipped, were no match for Connor and her team's tactical brilliance. The command center was captured, and with it, the final remnants of the Zenari Dominion's leadership. As the last Zenari commanders surrendered, a collective sigh of relief spread throughout the battlefield. The once feared Zenari Dominion had fallen. Admiral Steele, overseeing the operation from the Aegis, addressed the fleet with a voice filled with pride and determination. Today, we have defeated the greatest threat the galaxy has ever known. This victory belongs to all of us, human and coalition alike. The war was not yet over, but the fall of Drar marked the beginning of the end for the Zenari Dominion. Humanity, once an untested ally, had proven its worth. The galaxy had witnessed their strength, and the Zenari had been brought to their knees. Peace was finally within reach, and with it, a new era of cooperation and unity. As the battle for Drar came to a close, Captain Connor stood among the ruins of the city, the weight of their victory settling in. "We did it," she murmured, her voice tinged with exhaustion but filled with pride. "The galaxy is free." The coalition forces had emerged victorious, and with that, the galaxy was one step closer to a lasting peace. The fight had been long, and the losses had been great, but humanity's role in this triumph would forever be remembered. The message was clear: when humanity joined the war, they didn't just change the course of the conflict, they laid the foundation for a future where the stars belonged to all.